Okay, guys, sorry about that. Um, I just got shut off there by the system. I've been talking for 2 hours. I didn't realize. Um, the system only allows me to do a 2 hour video, guys. So I'm going to finish this and I'm going to put it up as an extension to the previous video for anyone that's interested. Um, so I'll finish up. We were actually not too far from the end, to be quite honest, but I'll finish it here. What we were saying. Oh, I Swiss yen. Right. So this one's very similar to the one we just looked at, in that it's been going flat for on the daily time scale for the last let's say from there 2017, 4 or 5 years, guys, to here, 4 years. In actual fact, came up again there a month or so ago. So what I was doing back here, but I was doing it with a bit of caution. When we got up to here, sorry, let's get out of the daily time scale. Right, when it came up to here, I shorted it. Might have been there. And then it came up and I had to ride through all of this, not knowing if it was going to break out or not. And then eventually I got my money back. But it was a few weeks of, this is on 3 hours, it was a few weeks of thinking that I'd done the wrong thing. And it wasn't pleasant, guys. And then I did the same thing here. And same thing happened. It came down. I was in the green. I had 2 or 3 trades on this, by the way. And then I did this, and I was back in the red. I got out of one as it came through the zero. Then it started dropping again. I panicked, and panic isn't the right word, guys. I was defensive. And I said, listen, your analysis of this is possibly wrong. Get your money out of it. And of course, I took my money out, and then it did that. So yet again, if I'd have believed in my initial analysis that it was going to drop from there, I would have done okay with 3 trades between there and there. It came up again, and I tried to trade it short again, and went through all of this, and ended up took my money out again. So I made a few dollars out of all of that, but it was really hard work, guys. And then it came up again, and I thought to myself, do you know what? I just get the feeling when you look at this last structure here, and when I was looking, obviously also looking at the gold price and looking at what was going on, I was saying, you know what? I don't see the reason why the yen is going to suddenly go down here. In this case, would have to suddenly go long. And I looked at this, and then I drew this structure in, and I said, you know what? This is a little bit different to what it's been doing over the last lot of years. Because here it was coming up impulsively and dropping off impulsively, coming up impulsively, dropping off. See it? This was a long, slow grind up. And I said, this structure for me doesn't look like it's done. Therefore, it could break out of here. Now, did I trade it out of there? No, I didn't. But what I did do was I didn't trade it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I didn't lose any money on it. Because all those people that traded it short from here have lost money. Now, they might still be in the trade, hoping that it comes back down again, but I don't want to get myself in a situation like that. Now, we do get into them, but I'd prefer not to be in them. So when you get a situation where you think you're wrong, or you might be wrong, then get out of it. Okay. I went and looked on eToro at the time when we were here, and something like 90% of people were shorting this. And I thought, guys, I would not short it here. Particularly since here and here and here and here, we'd got it wrong. Because when we were trading it here, we weren't just looking for that trade. We were looking for it to go down here, guys. So when I got to there, I thought, I'm leaving this alone. It pushed on up. And when I did that, I said, this is going to push on up. And it's pushed on up. Now, is this going to continue on up? At the moment, I don't know, because I've got in the back of my head that diagram that we looked at earlier with the yen, where I'm saying we could get a bit of upside here to the yen. Now, that's not certain, but if it happens, then obviously that trade won't continue on up. But you could see something like this. In other words, this could push up, and I'll not necessarily get to the top, guys, but it could push up, and then you get that little bit of strengthening of the yen, which would correct it back down again within this channel, and then you get a push on up. So we'll have to see. The place to trade this for me would have been, if you were going to be brave enough to trade it long from there, or even from there, I wouldn't be jumping into it here, guys. Just let's see where it goes, and if it corrects again, then maybe we trade it up again. But the interesting thing is that it has broken out of that 2-year structure, 5-year structure, whatever it is, which is the reason why I moved this back from here, because that's no longer applicable. I moved it back to there and kind of moved this back into here. Don't be worrying about the flash crashes, guys. So that's kind of your little corrective structure there. It dropped out of it. If that is that a 5? If it's a 5, it's a diagonal because it dropped really deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A. Maybe you could say B and C, and now it's off again. So we're back into this mode, possibly, which means there's could be more upside to that. The long and the short of it is I don't know, so don't trade it. CAD Swiss. When we were back over here, we were trading this up and down. Every time it dropped, traded up, dropped, traded up. And then around here, we got the pandemic, which crashed it. But since this, I've been trading this pair long. It's probably been my most successful trade. And I did mention it last week for any of you who saw it. But at the moment, it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky at the moment because we come up so impulsively here. Bang through that target, hit that target. So what's next? Well, maybe it takes a rest and it runs flat for a while. If the gold price continues to push up, maybe you see a bit of strength that comes down to there, and then you trade it back up. For me, the trade would be the backup one, because it doesn't necessarily have to do that. It could just keep doing that, but I don't want to be in that. So I'm just going to have to wait a while. CAD yen. Yeah. Well, we get that push up, hit that target. Potentially there's a target there, but I certainly would prefer to see a bit of a correction here first before trying to trade it up. New Zealand yen. Yet again, guys, it's all into this. It's 4 times it's come to there. Eventually, at some point, it'll break out, but I wouldn't like to be getting involved there. If it drops, try and trade it up. New Zealand CAD. What do we say? Maybe the CAD's going to drop for a little bit. So maybe there's a trade there. And New Zealand Swiss. Well, I'm in this one, guys, and it's a blooming nuisance because it's one day you're up, the next day you're down, then you're up, and then you're way down, then you're up, and then you're down. So I'm kind of hoping that that prediction there comes true, because if I've got this wrong, and the structure is something different, if the structure is more like that, which it could certainly possibly be, then this could have more downside to it before it comes along. If it does that, I'm obviously going to stop myself out and then try and trade it long again from down here. But I'm kind of hoping, and there's a point where I just say, okay, I'm out of this. You don't want to be hanging in forever, guys. I'm kind of hoping this is just part of the whole moving sideways bit, and then it starts coming up. So I've an upside bass on the New Zealand guys, but at the moment the Swiss seems to be having a little bit of a rally. But if we get that push into stocks, you could see gold coming off and the Swiss coming off, which means that we could well still get that trade. I wouldn't jump into it there if I were you guys. I'd been trading it. When we got here, I was looking for a little correction, then a push out, guys. So every time I come down, I was trading it up, getting out, come down, trade it up. And then I did it one time too many here. Here it was when it dropped, or maybe it was here. Got out there, it dropped to there, and I thought, oh, here we go. Worst case scenario, it comes down to there, and then it goes. Well, that was the one that caught me. And then when I came back to here, instead of getting out for a zero, I thought, no, stay in it. We're going to go. And of course, we're back in the red. Okay. And that's the last one, guys. That was really, really long, guys. It was long for me. It'll be long for any of you who managed to watch it all. But there's a lot in there for anyone who's trying to learn how to trade, guys. Okay, I'll be here again this time next week. And obviously, you can get over to the website and you can see what I'm doing over there. Okay, bye for now.